Now, let's see here. We need to get Richard over here. See if we can get him into the with the Forgotten Coast ParrotHead Club. They're going to be having the Forgotten Coast Music Festival Labor Day weekend. How you doing this morning?
Very good. How about yourself, Danny?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I love the hat.
That's cute.
They're fresh off the printer for our event, so they're a
nice.
Had some pictures of a guy fishing with it yesterday, even so.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a fantastic job getting ready for this music festival, and I want you to tell us all about it. But first, I want to hit some of the Forgotten Coast. I hate to tell everybody where you are because they're all going to flock down there, and it's going to if you ever go down, and I'll let you tell everybody where you're at and what you got. But it's one of these old beach towns that is hard to find these days.
It is.
Yeah. So tell us all about it.
Well, the Forgotten Coast, we're Franklin County, Florida, in the Panhandle, kind of right near the Big Bend area, a couple hours east of Panama City. And we're a small county, about maybe 12,000 people, very, very rural. I think our county has maybe 2 stoplights along Highway 98. And it's funny because it's, I'll get to a little bit of the story, but, Manala, who we met, kind of helped start this whole idea of the event. His comment was, we were talking to him because he had vacationed here in St. George Island, which is a barrier island out.
Beautiful.
Right across from us. And he goes, you guys have what we all write about.
Yeah.
The small, sleepy beach towns, fishing and, little dive bars. And he goes, you have what we all write about.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot of the trop rock music really here. We're still kind of a country rock style, very music oriented. Every venue we have offers live music pretty much either Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So people love our music here. But it's just a real small little sleepy town. There's building codes that don't let you build big high rises more than 30 feet. So the county's done very well trying to limit.
Yeah.
So we stay like we are, kind of that Forgotten Coast, and people can come visit, and we love tourism, and we want to keep it the way it is.
Well, it is true. I mean, we were talking the other day by phone, and I was saying that it reminds me a lot of Anna Marie Island, and especially where you can't build those high-rise hotels and block the sunsets and all that stuff, and. Yep. They've been pretty true to that as well. There's a little more tourists there, especially on the weekends, especially around holidays or whatever. But your area down in St. George, that's such a beautiful place. But so tell us about the festival and how this is all coming together and what you're raising money for.
I'll give you just a little history. As most know, the state of Florida made, August 30th, 2024, Jimmy Buffett Day after his passing in 23. And so last year on August 30th, we had kind of our first Jimmy Buffett Day party at one of our breweries, East Point Beer, which is a small microbrewery in East Point, Florida. And we had a party there, and we kind of advertised it with our club. They advertised it. The place was packed to the brim. I mean, we had people standing outside. We had games. We had other stuff, and it was just an unbelievable turnout. We had people coming from Georgia down, over from Alabama came in, and that was kind of the first trigger to say, you know what, and we know around here people love Jimmy Buffett. And
sure.
Our club does a ton of volunteer work in our community, and people know us. They know if they need help doing something, we're going to be there to do it. And so that was the first kind of thing, and then. My wife and I and a bunch of us went down Meeting Minds over in Gulf Shores to hang out last October. And we had a chance to, up on the VIP deck, meet Manalo. He was up there playing and went over and started talking to him and just, kind of shoot the breeze with him. And he asked where we were from. I said, well, we're from, the Forgotten Coast in the Appalachia, Carabel, East Point area in St. George Island. He goes, I vacationed as a little kid for the last 20 years at St. George Island.
Wow.
And he goes, I played at East Point Beer during one of our vacations a couple of years ago. I went to open mic and played at that brewery. And he goes, you guys don't have any of that trop rock music down there yet. I said, no, not really. And he says, what can we do? And my wife said, we need to figure out a way to do something.
Yeah.
And so that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Was sitting there talking to Manalo, relaxed on a pool deck at Mutiny Mines last October, and then we came back and we had our club Christmas party, and we kind of talked to the membership and said, we're thinking about doing this, maybe doing a music fest for Jimmy Buffett Day next August, and all of them loved the idea, and that meeting, people started talking. Our membership's around 100. Members for a little 12,000 population county. It's a pretty big club for our area.
Sure.
And some people started talking about what are we going to we're going to do this as a benefit for something. Yeah. But we started talking. By the end of the night, we had a vote.
Wow.
Within the club.
That's hard to do in a ParrotHead club. Get everybody to agree to something in one night.
But then we had a vote to say who was it going to be. We had a couple different things, and the school music program won 99% of the votes that night.
Wow.
So that was kind of our start of what are we going to do, because it kind of goes in tune with Sing for Change.
Yeah.
Jimmy's benefit is, and our school had, when COVID hit, the school canceled their marching band program.
Yeah.
And they never restarted it until this year. They started with middle school, and because they had needed money. All the uniforms from the past were rotted from sitting around for 5 years, not being used. A lot of the instruments were bad.
Yeah, instruments just go bad if you don't use them.
Yeah, if you don't use them. And so we got together with the principal and the music director at the school and said, what do you need? And she's like, we can't restart the high school marching band because we don't have uniforms. We don't have instruments. We started middle school with a hope that we can, as they go up, middle school goes into high school, that we'd be able to get it started, but they need funds. And we're like, we're here.
We're here.
And so when we started talking about the Music Fest and all of our venues here, we started saying, well, do we do a big stage and a big production, or do we use our existing venues? And we know, because we're ParrotHeads, we know all of our little dive bars very, very well. We know the owners, they know us.
Sure.
And so I started talking to them and saying, would you guys be open to us schedule an artist to come in and play at your venue for these couple days? And pretty much all of them were like, we need music anyway.
Yeah.
Why not bring something different in that's, we know, because they know when we do something, people come.
Yeah.
On the ParrotHead side, because so we started talking with them. We said, well, let's start with 3, depending what musicians. And we said, now we got to get some musicians. And Manalo had a couple in his mind. And
yeah.
And we're like, well, if we do 3 days, you need 5 or 6 musicians. He had maybe 2.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Eric Babin.
Yeah.
And Eric sent an email out to a bunch of, in a sense, kind of the young and upcoming artists. And within a week, I had 20 artists contact me.
Nice.
So we started working through, and the venues started coming on, but all of a sudden I had too many artists for 3 venues. So then I had to go out. We only had about 10 bars within our general 4 little city area,
right,
between St. George, Apalachicola, East Point, and Caravel. So it's limited. So I started, okay, I need more venues. So I started going out, talking to the other owners. We got down to 7, and then we were able to kind of, over the past, 3 or 4 months, really work to say, okay, now we've got, 15 artists or groups coming to play, 49 shows over the 3 days at 7 of our venues.
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. It really took off. I mean, I feel like
exploded.
I feel like 20 years from now, we'll be talking about Manalo like everybody talks about Jerry Diaz as the godfather of Meeting the Minds.
Yeah, it is. It's since we met him last year, he's exploded.
Oh, yeah, he has. He definitely has. And it's good that, the Trop Rock community, you mentioned Eric and, helping you out with that. I mean, that's what the Trop Rock community does. Everybody comes together, and especially for a good cause. We have a high school out in Antioch High School out in California, and their music department produces a show every week on Tuesday. And, it's really cool to where we give Callie McCool full credit for that. He's the music teacher out there, and he brings these kids together, and they produce this show, and they're you're helping them to think about the future of music, or maybe getting into something else or whatever. And it's a broadcasting, something like that. I mean, it's a good thing to get a hold of. But when it comes to a marching band, it seems to me that the uniforms come first and then the music, right? Listen, we can't just stand out here in our shorts and flip-flops, okay? We're gonna look ridiculous. We got to have some good uniforms. Once we get those, then we'll put a band together.
Yeah. And they, the middle schoolers, we've gone over and seen them play, and they're, it's just, I've never seen a marching band of, 5th, 6th, and 7th graders, and it's unbelievable seeing the smiles in these children's faces and such. And then, you go to a football game, we don't have a marching band. You go to a parade, we have a parade here. Yeah. No marching band. And that's what gets the party going.
That's right. That's right.
The music, right?
Yeah, hopefully we can get this thing kicked off, and they'll be playing in the Macy's Day Parade in the future, before you know it.
It's amazing. And the neat thing is, our kickoff for the event, on Friday night, on Friday afternoon, really at 2:00, is we've got a small group of children at the school who play ukuleles.
Right.
And there, you may have seen my post last week.
Yeah.
There are about 6 or 7 of them with some adults. Our kickoff, they're learning some Jimmy Buffett songs. They're learning Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise. And they had their debut at East Point Beer last week, because they're learning 5 or 6 songs, and we're going to have them on the stage. That's the kickoff of the whole event. We're going to focused on children and music, and we're going to have a couple of the artists are going to join them on stage and play some of these tunes.
Oh, that's cool.
And their debut last week was just, I can't tell you, the smiles. I mean, their smiles went ear to ear, and it's just music. They love the music because it's different from what they're used to playing. Yeah. And one of the teacher, who's also part of our ParrotHead crew here, she puts her heart and soul into these children, and she's not affiliated with the school. She just does it on her own time. Yeah. And but it's going to be an exciting kickoff, and I really want the children in our area to see these musicians and meet them and talk to them, to say that, music can be something I can strive to go do. Sure. And people, because our area being very rural, we don't have much really industry. We're, a lot of fishing, and a lot of service industry, a lot of, the restaurants and, what few hotels we have. But we want to be able to show these children that there's folks out here who love music, and they're still playing at 20 years and 30 years and 40 years and 50 years old. And they, and that's what we want to do. And I want to get the artists who are coming in. That was one thing Manalo, when we were talking to him, he goes, a lot of these artists from Nashville or Mississippi or Alabama drive through your area to get down to Tampa or to get to Orlando. They just never knew to stop. Yeah. And it's where kind of that medial, so my goal is to try to get these artists to get in touch with the venues, and then throughout the year, they're driving through, stop and play a gig sometime. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've had Donnie Brewer and several of them play here for our summer party or whatever, and I've seen them, teach kids how to play guitar or whatever, on stage, and there's a music department down in Key West called Bahama Village Music, and if you want to learn to play a instrument, all you got to do is walk in and say, I want to play. and they'll help you. And I always envisioned of working with them. It's never come to fruition, but I don't ever give up on too much. But I always envisioned for those kids to come in and play, even if it's 20 or 30 minutes, part of our songwriter showcase we have in Key West each year, to kind of spotlight what they've done. I kind of the connection. So it sounds like that's kind of what you're thinking as well.
Exactly. I mean, and music is such a core of in children. It makes better math scores, better cognitive learning. Music does so much, especially at a young age, that we want to show these kids that, hey, we believe in you. Get up and play and get in that marching band and perform for the crowds.
Well, tell us how people can sign, or not really sign up, but get the information, the website. I do have a banner on our website, tikimanradio.com, and there's a picture of it on there that you can just click on. It takes you to your website for everybody that's listening out there. But this is a free to the public thing, right?
It is free to the public. We're just taking donations. You can donate free through our website. You can donate on site during the event. We'll have donation jars out at each venue. You can go out to our Facebook, Forgotten Coast ParrotHead Club. That's the easiest way. Facebook, Forgotten Coast ParrotHead Club, and there's a link in the featured events. And you click in there, and you can get to our website, which shows you every artist, all the schedules, all the different venues, how to get here, all the FAQs from, an exciting one people have talked to me about already is all of our venues are pet friendly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Every venue, people can bring their dogs on a leash. And we're kind of that dive bar, right? There's nothing fancy about the places we're going to play at, but they have cold beer and good drinks, and we'll have food in every place. They'll have food. Either a lot of them serve it, or they'll have food trucks around. Some venues you can walk between the two of them. We're also planning to have within the 7 venues, there's maybe about, if you look at the circle, it's maybe about a 20-mile circle.
Wow.
And we are going to be offering a shuttle service. One of our members, again, owns a 15-person shuttle van that he takes people over to Panama City or up to Tallahassee and, vacationers and such. So we're going to have that running for, a small fee for a day pass to be able to go between all venues all day long.
From what I remember, it's not that far from Panama City, Mexico Beach area, right in there. I mean, we pretty much take a right at Dothan and go over to Panama City when we go down to the rendezvous and broadcast. But if you go straight down 75, I mean, you're basically going to run into it, right?
Exactly right. We're probably about an hour from Tallahassee, Florida, straight north of us. Like I said, we're about 2 hours from Panama City. You got, like you said, Mexico Beach. You got Port St. Joe, which is a beautiful little town. Which is about a half an hour from us. And Apalachicola is, probably our biggest little city we have. Great little downtown area. East Point's got, some neat bars. I mean, our East Point beer is actually, that bar is on the bay.
Nice.
So you can sit out there, you can walk down a dock, sit on the end of the dock, and just enjoy the sunset or sunrise, whatever. But we've a couple of our places are literally on the water.
Wow.
And you can't beat that. Like you said in your previous show about how the ocean and the waves relaxes you, and that's why I live here. Is I love the water, and people will be able to experience it and see what we have. And we. There's plenty of houses for sale too. So,
well, again, I used to slip down there a lot back in the day. It's been a while since I've been down there, but I know that was it Hurricane Michael?
Hurricane Michael, 2018.
Yeah, it was prior to Michael that I was down there, maybe 2015, somewhere around in there. But. It's such a beautiful small town. I like how you describe it, your smallest city that's closest to you. But the Forgotten Coast is, something all these guys, like you said, are writing about, talking about, and I write about them all the time myself. When I write my morning post, so it's a really cool thing. So. We got to let you fly, but this is Memorial Day weekend, or not Memorial Day, but Labor Day weekend, and basically Jimmy Buffett weekend from here on out. And you can go to Forgotten ParrotHead. What is it?
Forgotten Coast ParrotHead Club.
There we go.
Facebook.
And get all the information about this.
Yep.
And it's all for a good cause, raising money for the kids. The donations, when we say donations, you guys are already taking donations. The event is free to the public, but understand that we're raising money for the kids, and so come down and have fun and do it for a good cause, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, all right, man. We're going to let you fly. Thanks for joining us this morning, and as always, we're here at Tiki Man Radio to help you guys get the word out or do anything that we can to help you as well. So keep that in mind, okay?
Well, we appreciate you a lot, Danny, and what you've done, and all the other promotional partners we have. So it's just grown exponentially because of help like yours and other partners like you. So we really appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for joining us, and keep doing what you're doing, and it's all for a good cause, man.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you much, guys.
All right, buddy.
Okay. Bye.